that's just a hair's breadth away from a very rare red weather warning. So we're in a position at the moment where we could escalate to a red weather warning if the situation sort of demands it later in the week. And that'll be a very serious situation indeed. That's the kind of thing where you get lots of stranded motorists, people stuck in their cars, stuck in vehicles, getting communities isolated, communities cut off, and some really sort of serious impacts there.
The region's councils say they're all prepared. Gritters and snowplows have been working through the night to keep the roads clear. John Reid is head of technical services at Durham County Council.
Well, we have the staff on standby throughout the winter season. Ourselves runs through the start of October to the end of April, so we've got staff on standby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we've got plenty of staff, and also we have an extensive supply chain of farmers who also help us with winter and more challenging conditions.
Aye, well, 2 inches of snow. It's a catastrophe. Let's see if this thing can get up the bank. Woo. Fallen at the first step. Pathetic.
The International Trade Secretary is to warn that staying in a customs union after Brexit will be a complete sellout of Britain's national interests. Liam Fox is to give the latest in a series of speeches by cabinet ministers on the UK's withdrawal from the EU later. And the Kaiser Chiefs and Postman Pat are among the lineup for the Great Exhibition of the North, which takes place in Newcastle and Gateshead this June. The 11-week festival will celebrate great art, culture, design and innovation from across the north of England. Organisers say the opening ceremony will feature the UK's largest water sculpture, an 80-metre long fountain on the River Tyne. Abigail Pogson is from the Stage Gateshead.
We've commissioned Sheffield-based artist Mark Fell to create a new piece, Scrutiny Music, and he's going to install 64 speakers on the windows of the concourse. So what he's going to make is a piece that explores the sounds of the north.
BBC Newcastle, the only place for North East sport.
Hey, very good morning, I'm Michael Hamilton. Sunderland midfielder Paddy McNair's injury is not a repeat of the groin problem that meant he missed 7 matches, says boss Chris Coleman. The Rotherham international had gone off during the first half of Saturday's draw against Middlesbrough. Rafa Benitez has admitted Newcastle United can do better at both ends of the pitch after they blew a 2-goal lead at Bournemouth on Saturday. That 2-2 draw leaves the Magpies 2 points above the Premier League relegation zone with 10 games left.
Will you shut up? Can't go backwards because I'm jammed against the curb now. Okay. Trust me, I'm a professional driver. Oh dear me, what a fuss. Ah, useless twat. Maybe just stop here till the snow melts. Okay. Oh, way up there. Shut up. See if we can build up a bit of speed. Of course, I've compressed the snow now, haven't I? Second gear, hang on to your hats. Well, that doesn't bode well for the rest of the day, does it?
Shane Ward is going.
I think there comes a point when you have to call it a day. Starting to break traction there. Onwards. Try the A19 and the A1. Starting to brighten up a bit anyway. Won't be braking going around corners, will he? Oh lordy. Quite spooky. I think we're driving on ice now, or compacted snow anyway, so it seems that rumble, it's a nice smooth road surface here. Normally that rumble's like, just keep my distance. On now, yeah. Sorry, take it all back. miles to do. I'm starting to wonder because they're saying it's going to be heavier this afternoon, so just have to see how it goes, I guess.
And I think you just mentioned there now that yeah, right, just about now compiling emails and phoning people up to say
Absolutely beautiful though, isn't it?
slightly longer way around because I went.
Wednesday morning, day 2 of the Beast of the East. It is a little bit worse this morning. It took me 40 minutes to get in to pick the van up. Normally it only takes 10, and now this is us about a quarter of a mile from the depot. Snow's seems quite dry, quite powdery, and it's blowing around a lot, so when the roads get cleared it's just covering them up again, but see how it goes. Another 50-mile drive down to Catterick to do today.
Across the country, then also the A686 at Hartside Pass, we've got a section closed too. Around Scotch Corner, the A66, that's from the A1 at junction 55. The road was closed last night after a lorry became stranded on the 66, and the snow gates remain closed. Treacherous pretty much everywhere else. We've got a broken down lorry on the A19 at the A194, which is Leam Lane at the Lindisfarne roundabout. Morpeth, the A1 southbound, a broken down vehicle around the Morpeth Northern bypass. We've got one lane blocked. Around the Spine Road, traffic is building up at Moor Farm roundabout. It's back before the Blythe turn-off as you head south. Ian has been on. He said the snow's blowing around and that looks quite treacherous. And public transport, points failure, so severe delays. Tyne-Wear Metro between South Shields and Peelaw. We have electrical supply problems, so possible delays on Virgin trains. East Coast and Stagecoach have taken their services off around Sunderland and South Tyneside, and that's going to be for the foreseeable future because the driving conditions are so poor. If you spot anything else going on, can you give me a call please? 0191 233 2299.
Thanks, Jill. Don't forget, we'll keep you up to date throughout the day here on BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East with special programmes to help you cope with this foul, dangerous weather.
Essential North East travel.
Alfie Joy and Anna Foster at breakfast.
BBC Newcastle Radio for the...
I think this is a little bit silly. This is the A1 southbound, just coming up on Washington services. Well, this is lane 3, and I've just seen a truck pull out up ahead in the outside lane, which is a bit naughty. Arctic's not supposed to use lane 3. I can understand his frustration though. It is now, it's an hour and a half since I set off to do a journey which would normally take us an hour and a quarter, and I would say I'm less than a third of the way into it. Yep.
A1 is blocked due to a jackknife lorry between Warrenford and Ellingham in Northumberland. In County Durham, it's down to one lane in parts. Highways England says the A1 will be closed between Chestler Street and Washington for a short period this morning to allow for regritting. Nick Carl is Highways Area Manager for Northumberland County Council.
Well, I've had reports from the drivers in certain locations, and especially in some of them in South East Northumberland, where people are travelling not to the conditions, but create further issues down the road. Have an accident because it creates further problems for the emergency services. First things first, if you don't need to go, don't go.
We'll have more on the rest of the region's roads with Gilly and the travel in the next few minutes. And the bad weather is set to continue. There's an amber weather warning for snow in place for the northeast through the day, with frequent and heavy snow showers set to cause more problems.
We're likely to see an increasing risk of vehicles becoming stranded or having difficulties in the snow, perhaps with communities becoming isolated as well, particularly in more rural parts of the northeast.
Evan Waterworth is from the Met Office.
The wind picking up as well, which is very significant. It can cause the snow to drift around and blow into drifts, which we haven't really seen yet, so some drifting snow to take into account. Visibility dropping very, very low in the showers, and the temperatures at or below freezing. We're looking at some serious wind chill numbers as well, so actually quite dangerous conditions for anyone that's outside spending rental time and not properly dressed.
Apparently the heaviest snow in the UK overnight was at Bleakdale Camp in the Northumberland National Park. 16 centimetres fell there. And as if the problems on the roads weren't bad enough, there's more bad news if you're headed on public transport. There's no stagecoach services for the foreseeable future in Sunderland and South Tyneside. Arriva says the majority of it...
50 would be nice.
Get one in your estate. Meanwhile, power problems mean a revised service on the East Coast Main Line. Northern Rail says all of its lines are closed. The Tyne-Away Metro says services between Hilo and Monkston will not be operating today. And at Newcastle International Airport, 4 flights have been cancelled, but it's warning of delays through the day as they try to keep the runway clear due to the heavy snow. You're advised to check before you travel. And power cuts are still affecting 290 homes near Ponteland in Northumberland. Northern Power Grid say it's hoping to have electricity restored as soon as possible.
Thanks, Alan. The weather, well, it is the news, isn't it? There's a lot of snow and a lot of treacherous conditions out there. Be very careful. Met Officer warning, amber warnings, quite serious stuff. Top temperature 0 Celsius. Jill, how are the roads looking?
We'll start on the main stretch in Northumberland and Seaton Delaval on the A192. It's both ways between the A190, which is Avenue Road, Hartley Street north, and down to the A186. Snow, of course, and 5 broken down. Snow again.
It's getting stupider. I think it might be a good time to turn around and head back. Blow my neck. Is it me? Have I got cataracts or what? But if people who seem to be able to see through it, I don't know. Look at that on the other side, that's horrible. There's actual snow laid on the carriageway on the other side. This is crazy. Hey. It's the end, alright. I think as soon as I can, I'm going to stop and make a phone call. Oh, it looks worse trying to go back. This is silly. Thinking it's not a very good idea to be driving 50 miles away from home in this weather. Well, I don't know if you caught the conversation previously. Apologies for any bad language you might have heard, but I've just been told to turn around. It's pointless going on, just to have to by the time I get there and do a couple hours work, I'll just have to turn around and come back again. So now let's see if we can get home. Slip road about a quarter of a mile ahead, which I'm wanting to take, but I think people are getting stuck on it because it's slightly uphill. You see the outside lane here is moving, but I think the near side, it's all because of the slip road, which is more fun, innit?
To get to work, it's been slow going on many roads. Buses, trains and flights have been cancelled. Schools are closed. To as many houses as possible, but the forced from the northeast until Saturday.
I think the wipers are a bit cool.
There are some stagecoach services now starting.
Oh, bit slippy there. Bit slippy there. And relax. Well, I just got home and just thought I'd show you what it's like. It's look at that. Drove home at like 15 miles an hour. So, who knows what it'll be like tomorrow.